Welcome back, everybody. Hello, hello. This is the UUR podcast with your hosts, Rodnesha Green, that is me, and my co-host, Callie Thomas, that is she.
Hello, everyone.
We are back to talk more PLURIBUS. That's what we're here to do, and we are finally, are we halfway? This is halfway, right? Is it 9, 10 episodes?
Is it? Are there 9 or 10? Are there 10? I can't remember.
I can't either. We'll find out. But either way, if it is 9 or 10, we are at the halfway point about. So we're here to talk about episode 5, Got Milk. No question mark, though, unlike the commercials of the 80s and 90s that made us all believe that we were being deprived by not drinking dairy all the live long day.
Big milk. It was big milk propaganda. We don't need it.
I remember when I realized that and I was like, oh my gosh, the food pyramid is a lie. Everything is a lie. That's what's happening. I believed. I looked at those dumb ads with those fake milk mustaches that made me believe that milk was going to save my soul. And it was just the dairy farmers trying to ensure their job security. And I tell you what, it worked.
Do you think they couldn't put the question mark in this title because of trademark?
Now that you say that, yes, I do think that's why. I think that's exactly why, because it is definitely signature.
No question mark.
No question mark, just no period, no, what do you call them? Oh my gosh, not parenthetical. Punctuations. God, my brain. You guys missed earlier when I confused airborne with something not in anywhere close to what you call airborne. Aftermath. Anyway,
she called it aftermath.
I did call it aftermath. I'm willing to admit my faults. So, before we get into our episode today, let's have a download, shall we? I don't know about you, Cal, but I am watching some other TV media right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an interesting mix. The Boys just finished, so that's done. I think...
You're like, you just wanted to finish it out.
I just needed to finish it out. And there's a lot of discourse going around about it. I didn't hate the finale, but I also wasn't like blown away. It went about the way I expected.
Okay.
And now it's done.
That's fair.
So I just needed it to complete arcs and round things out. And that's enough for me. Could I nitpick some things? I'm sure I could. But I feel like that's many a TV show nowadays. So whatever. It's done. I saw it through. It's complete. And then I think The Testaments is about to round out its season as well.
Yeah, as we are recording this, there's one more episode.
One more. Okay. So they're only doing 8?
Yeah, I'm very upset about that because they shortchanged us on the penultimate episode. It was so good.
I agree.
It was so good, but it was short.
I agree. Oh, it was a shorter episode. That makes sense. Okay. Because it got to the end and I was like, oh, we're already done? And I think I just thought I was caught up in the story and that's why.
Right. The adrenaline of it. And then I saw a TikTok talking about it and they said it was only 30 minutes. And I was like, no.
That's all it was?
And all the other ones have been about like 42.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So there's that. And so all this to say, there's a lot of shows going on right now. I feel like people are having a lot of sentiments about the number of episodes, the amount of time per episode, the penultimates and finales. It doesn't seem like there's a lot that's super satisfying out there right now. Like people are getting a bit of an itch scratched because I've even heard with The Testament, some people being like, well, I mean, there's some aspects of it that's okay, but I was expecting more. And with it coming behind The Handmaid's Tale,
Interesting. We're on very different algorithms for The Testaments because I'm seeing rave reviews.
Really? I'm not seeing those reviews.
That's so interesting.
Which is funny because I haven't had a problem with it. And I guess maybe, one, I didn't finish The Handmaid's Tale. So I don't know. Yeah, I didn't want to watch. I didn't want to watch the last season when it came out. It felt like too much for me at the time that it came out.
Okay,
my sister said the same thing. She was like,
"It's rough to watch."
She was like, "You've got to finish it though, and it's so much better." And blah blah. I was like, just at that point in time, I didn't want to. And then once this started airing, I was like, I'll just pick up with this.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll get the gist of how things kind of closed out, and maybe at some point I'll go back and watch that final season. We'll see. Now that there's been a little bit of...
Right. We've talked about this before, too. You cannot binge The Handmaid's Tale.
No, you cannot.
Luckily, you don't really need to watch it for
Testaments.
The Testaments, right? There's some things that will make more sense to you if you have watched it. But if you are gonna go back, if you're watching The Testaments and you haven't seen Handmaids or haven't read the books, take it easy. pace yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not meant to be
It's
binged.
not meant to be binged. There's some shows
It's
that,
not good for your mental health to binge it.
again, I found that out the hard way with The Boys. I binged the first 2 seasons and I'll never do that again. It was, oh, it messed up my brain. I was like, something has shifted in me. I need to stop. So, Handmaid's Tale, same thing. I think the smartest thing about
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale, and I guess it's just a Hulu thing with some of their series, I don't know if they do with all of them, is that you can binge the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then it's like,
yeah, I think that's
enough.
super smart, because a lot of people, especially when it's the first season of something new, right? Because a lot of people can't decide with just the pilot, right?
Right.
So if
True.
the drop is the first 3 episodes, that's a good amount to know if you're gonna stick through it.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's a smart. I wish all of them did it that way.
For the ones that want to do
it.
the week by week, I do think it is a good way to get people in and get people hooked, and then parse out the rest. So that is a smart play on.
And then it
part.
makes it take not as long to wait if you do prefer to binge, right? Like, okay, like, for example, this one is only 8 episodes, so it's 5 weeks total, right? It wasn't 8 weeks to wait.
Yeah, true.
You know?
That does compress the timeline. Yeah, that's good. So all that to say, I'm hearing a lot of chatter about some of these other shows and people have their thoughts and yada yada, but I'm not hearing enough people talk about a show that I have recently gotten into that I think more people should be talking about, and that's Widow's Bay. Have you heard about Widow's Bay?
I know you mentioned it last week. Didn't know what it was then. I already forgot. I saw your note and I was like, what the heck is Widow's Bay? And then I thought about it for a second. I was like, wait, she did mention this last week, but I don't remember anything you told me already. And
I'm so
is this on Apple?
Yes,
or no?
It's
what
Apple.
Is it on?
It's our
and
favorite.
I haven't. And you know, I watch Apple. I'm watching Margot's Got Money Trouble right now, and I haven't seen any advertisements for Widow's Bay.
So what I have heard is because they came out around the same time, that more ad dollars are being put into Margot's Got Money Problems because they've got more name people in it and you know, bigger vehicle comedy.
Book.
So the people that are watching Widow's Bay and Margot's Got Money Problems, which I do want to watch as well, at the same time are like, they're both great shows, but it seems like Apple is prioritizing advertising dollars towards them and not as much for Widow's Bay. And I think Margot's already got like a follow-up season order put in. I think they've already been given a season 2, if I'm not mistaken. And so the funny thing is, this is feeling a lot to me like Severance season 1, where I'm seeking out people talking about it and not enough people are talking about it. And I'm just like, why is nobody talking about this show? I need to hear other thoughts. I need other people's opinions. I need to bounce theories off of somebody. And so it's been wild to me because like I have found like a few, you know, video essayists or bloggers on YouTube, but they aren't my normal people that I follow. And so I haven't quite gotten the vibe of their shows or their podcasts or whatever. And I'll listen, but I'm like, I don't so much like the vibe between these folks, or, oh, they're kind of all just talking over each other. I haven't found one yet that I'm like, ooh, I need to like stay on top of them. Like I remember with Severance when I found Nautilus Files and I was like, ooh, I like their weekly breakdowns of Severance and kind of the theories that are coming out. I haven't found anyone yet for Widow's Bay. And I'm very disappointed and I need more people to watch it. So this is my call to arms for those of you that listen. Please start watching Widow's Bay and get online and talk about it so I have someone to talk to. It's such a good show. If you like a mystery box show, if you like weird, I don't know if it counts as sci-fi, but if you like
this says supernatural horror comedy.
Thank you. Which sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but I promise it works.
Well, it's halfway through the season at least right now.
They have a 10 episode order as well. You could, please. And then, but it's very Stephen King-esque. If you have watched anything Stephen King, miniseries or otherwise, it's got that same vibe, like spooky town, weird lore, what's going on, what does it all mean? People are acting strange. What's happening? That type of thing.
Okay.
I feel like it has a similar pace to Pluribus and to Severance, where like each week you're getting like a little bit more, but you still have questions. So you watch another week and you're like, okay, I got a little bit more, but I still have questions. And so it's like that tickle your brain type of show, which I enjoy apparently. And since we've been talking about Pluribus, And obviously we started with Severance. I'm like, this just feels like the next natural type of show for our vibe.
Okay. I'll start watching it.
Yay!
Okay. Widow's Bay podcast uploading.
Yes.
Stay tuned. That'll be the next. We don't have anything planned after this, so there we go.
There we go. Yes, this was the point the whole time. Get Callie on board.
She says this as if it ever takes a lot of convincing for me to jump on board. That's a good point.
It doesn't. Oh, I'd have to be a real turd of an idea for Callie to be like, no.
No. Oh, that's funny.
Mission accomplished.
You heard it here first, folks. We will be doing Widow's Bay next.
And it's also short. It's 30-minute episodes. So it's easy to, just like PLURIBUS.
Catch up fast.
It's easy
to... Wonderful.
But yeah, so again, for those of you who listen to us, if you're not watching, I say, if you've listened to us talk about Severance and you've listened to us talk about PLURIBUS, this again feels like the next natural step in terms of like weird, kooky, sci-fi-esque, supernatural-esque type shows.
Okay.
So.
Sold.
Yeah. All right. And now I'm ready to talk about the episode.
You're like, and now we can talk about PLURIBUS.
Oh, boy.
Back to your regular programming.
Boop. Okay.
All right. So then you want me to give the summary? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
here?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So a brief summary of Got Milk. After a confrontation causes the others to collectively abandon the city, taking their patients and leaving Carol alone, Carol springs into action. She records a video message for the 12 remaining human survivors, urging them to work together and revealing that the others can't lie and a fix may exist. She leaves the tape for the others to collect, maintaining an uneasy but functional distance from them, alone for the first time since, quote, the joining. Carol navigates her first night solo, fending off coyotes, managing the dark, and calling the others' recorded message line more than she'd like to admit. A trail of abandoned milk cartons leads Carol to Duke City Dairy, where she discovers the others have been producing something that isn't milk, a mysterious amber liquid made from an unidentifiable white powder. She documents her findings in a second video, though doubts anyone has even seen the first one. The coyotes return and begin digging up Helen's grave, escalating Carol's growing distress. After rolling a police car into her backyard to protect the gravesite, she spent the next day covering the plot with stone tiles. Afterwards, she hand paints a headstone, a quiet, tender moment amid all of the chaos. And later, a barcode on the mysterious pack of powder leads her to a local agriculture facility, Agrijet, where she makes a discovery in a massive walk-in freezer that stops her cold.
Get it, guys?
Cold, because she's in a freezer. You got it. You know what? What she finds, I forgot wasn't in this episode, and I started writing notes about it. But I got ahead of myself, and then I was like, "Oh, yeah." And I was rewatching. I was like, "Oh wait, we don't know until the next episode. Damn it! I'll save it.
I had to do the same thing because I was like, "Wait, I can't remember. Is the reveal?
Wait,
yet?
They don't cut to the reveal yet? No, they don't.
Yeah.
Next episode.
We'll get into it. All right, guys. So our cast details for this episode are pretty dialed down because we're getting into some isolation time with Carol. Obviously, we have our main cast, Ray Seahorn as Carol Sturka, who is, for the most part, alone through this episode, but also Carolina Wydra as Zosha and Carlos Manuel Vesga as Manustos, who's not really in this episode, but...
Neither is Carolina.
Well, she's in the hospital bed at the beginning, but that's about it.
Oh, she's laying down. You're right.
She's laying down. So we have guest stars Merritt C. Glover as a nurse. Do you know when I first read that in the notes, I thought it said Merritt Weaver, and I was like, oh, is she in this?
What? Is this the Easter egg?
I was going to be like, crossover. No, it says Glover.
No.
Calm down. And then co-stars for this episode that are Build, are Minik, oh gosh, I can't remember how we said her name.
Gunaratne?
Okay.
I think.
Minik Gunaratne as Lakshmi. And then this episode is written by Ariel Levine, Vera Blasi, and Johnny Gomez, and directed by Gordon Smith. Did Gordon Smith already do an episode for us? I can't remember.
I couldn't remember.
For some reason, I think maybe, but I'll have to go back and look. Curious. I'm gonna have to start keeping track of who's directing what episodes to see if there's
Right.
any, fun overlaps.
Yeah. Ariel Levine has led writing a few of them at this point,
That makes sense.
but I don't remember the directors.
It's so funny
Um,
now that we do these podcasts and start paying attention to who's writing and
yeah,
directing. And then when I see their names pop up in other shows or other things, I'm like, hey, I know you.
right. Yeah, yeah. That is fun.
Wouldn't have clocked it before, which is sad, but I kind of like that it's
Yeah.
forcing me to pay attention to the other parts of the
Yes.
process.
Yes. I was going to say there were other guest stars billed, but I just put the one who spoke. The nurse is the only one with the line.
Agree. Yeah. I figured that was why, because I mean, obviously when with the joint, there's always going to be a number of,
There's there's always a lot of people, which good on them for putting their like tatted up nurse and or tatted up orderly and guy pushing whatever. Like they're all
yeah,
billed.
which I was going to say, like you said, I appreciate that they kind of, because that would probably, in previous instances of dramas on television or like the old network way, it would just be considered a featured extra and not
Yeah.
a co-star role. So
Hmm.
kind of nice that, yeah, they're kind of propping those people up. Like if they're getting a good amount of screen time, even if
Right.
it's just visual and not spoken, that they get the co-star
Yeah.
credit, which is nice. So,
Yeah.
okay. Are we ready to jump in?
Let's
Jump
do
out.
it.
Turn yourself about. Jump in. Jump out. Introduce. Do you remember that as a kid? No? Did y'all not do
Yes.
that? Okay.
I was just questioning why.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. Cold open. So, in the hospital, we open on a patient drinking a carton of milk, and we see the others bustling around, completing various hospital duties as Carol stands waiting, squeezing a stress toy. The phone at a reception desk rings, and after ignoring it for a beat, Carol answers it, and it is Lakshmi. She is furious that Carol's antics made her son cry. Carol tries to tell her that there may be a way to, quote, fix this, but Lakshmi's only concern is, you do not ever make my son cry again. And then she hangs up on Carol. So, as one of the others walks by, Carol tells him not to let Lakshmi call her again. And then the other looks down and quickens his step to walk past her faster. And Carol kind of notes the strangeness of this, but doesn't say anything. She goes in to check on Zosha, and a nurse is tending to her. Carol asks if Zosha is going to be okay, and the nurse tells her she'll be fine before leaving the room without making eye contact with Carol. So, more weirdness from the others. Carol then makes a comfy spot for herself in the waiting room and she falls asleep. And as she naps, the others begin filing out of the hospital from all exits, and they bring all the patients with them as well. Carol sleeps for several hours and wakes up to an empty hospital. So she goes to check on Zosha, but the room is empty as well. And she walks around the hospital and begins to panic, calling out to people. She picks up the phone and begins to ask where everyone is, but she stopped when she realizes it's a recording and not someone that has answered. So the recording that everyone will be very familiar with
By the end of this episode, yeah.
because we get it a ton of times is, hello, Carol. This is a recording. At the tone, you can leave a message to request anything you might need. We'll do our best to provide it. Our feelings for you haven't changed, Carol. But after everything that's happened, we just need a little space. So Carol is like, what the heck? She heads to the roof of a building. I wasn't sure where it was. I tried to watch a couple times. Like she drove somewhere, right? It wasn't the roof of the hospital, but like where did she go to that she knew she could access the
Well,
roof?
that's we'll talk about it, but
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I just
No,
realized
that's
I didn't
fine.
write that question down. So anyway, she heads to the roof of a building and she sees a mass exodus of cars leaving the city in all directions on all the highways. And she's just like, what the actual F? Well, good riddance. And that's the cold open.
All right. So, I guess do you want to answer it now or wait till we get to that point? I don't know if it matters.
Yeah, I just never caught it. I just didn't understood where she went.
Didn't catch it until I went through and grabbed stills for us to use for our backgrounds. Okay. She's at the top of like the Crown Plaza Hotel or something like that.
Okay. But again, why did she know that's where she could go to get up?
The only thing I can think is, again, maybe for something book related, or maybe she took, because this is the scene. So like she's at the top of this whatever hotel. Or there she is. Right there.
Yes.
Pew.
Crown Plaza. Yeah.
So, and that's the only reason I realized it. And I was like, oh, I don't know where I thought she was before, but
Interesting, because it's like, I mean, I'm sure the hospital, I feel like the assumption is the hospital has a helipad or a rooftop parking or something. So I don't understand why she had to drive somewhere else to go.
especially now that they aren't locking doors and things like that. So yeah, she could have easily
Yes,
just
that
gone up
part.
to the, I don't know. Maybe, okay, the only thing I can think is maybe the hospital wasn't near enough to the freeways. And so she wanted
Okay.
to,
Or she knew the hotel was tall.
I guess.
Well, because I just thinking about the picture you just showed
Yeah, yeah,
too. I
yeah.
guess it is taller than everything else around it. So maybe
True.
that's why.
I guess so. So that's, yeah. But that's the only reason
We
I noticed it. I was like,
we
oh,
figured it out.
that's where she is.
Okay.
Because I didn't catch it watching through for some reason. It didn't,
Uh-huh.
I didn't clock it. How she knew, why she did, I don't know. But I guess she said I have time today. So, all right. Opener, opener, opener. When they're going through the hospital scene, I didn't catch
Mm-hmm.
the first time through that they were already like wrapping it up, right?
Mm.
I think the first time I'm just thinking that they're doing normal hospital business. But this time around, I could see people like holding things that were packed or like carrying IV bags to like take out. And I was like, oh, they're already
Oh,
wrapping it up. So they knew they were going to leave.
interesting.
She didn't
Okay, see
know.
that answers my other question because I wrote on there, I was like, why did they wait?
Mm-hmm.
Were they still deciding? But they didn't wait. They were already starting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. I mean, they did. I guess maybe that's purposeful. They did mask it as seeming like other hospital business because I didn't notice either. I
Well,
just
the
thought the
thing is, yeah,
same,
nobody's talking to each other. So, and Carol's
Yeah,
clearly checked out in her own
yeah,
world. So I guess they probably were like, she ain't gonna notice anyway. So they're already starting to like load stuff
yeah,
out and take stuff out of the rooms and
yeah.
stuff. It's like, oh, I didn't catch that the first time. So they already knew they were about to call it. Because I think when I watched it through the first time, I, like you, was like, man, how'd they get out of there so fast? It just, pew, time to take off. And I guess as soon as that happened with Zosha, they were like,
Yeah.
we're done. We're done with her. Let's just
Hmm.
pack it up. Now, again, to go to that question, I was like, okay, could be a few reasons why. Maybe it's a power move because they clearly didn't want to tell her. And the first thing I think
Right.
I thought was maybe they were worried if we tell her we're leaving, she'll make us stay. Because if she says, like, I need you guys to be here, then
Right.
they have
Then
to
they,
oblige it, right?
yeah.
So it's like, we can't let her know we're leaving because then if she asks us to stay, we kind of have to for reasons. Or they were maybe waiting to make sure Zosha was stable enough to transport
The move.
that
Yeah.
sort of thing. But or they just wanted to pull a power move on Carol and said, "You think you can
Right.
pull stunts? Well, we can pull stunts too."
Yeah. Maybe they were like, eventually she's either they probably didn't expect her to fall asleep there. They're like, she's going to go home eventually. She's not going to
Mm-hmm.
stay here the
Mm-hmm.
whole time.
But they were clearly,
And
yeah,
then we'll
waiting for
leave.
whatever
Yeah.
point she wouldn't be aware,
Yeah.
and then they were just going to book it. So
That's funny.
either way, yeah, pretty funny that they were like, "All right, Carol, you got games? You think you can hold us hostage? Guess what? You ain't got nothing without us." So that's kind of wild. What else? What else? Oh, I didn't also clock that when Lakshmi calls Carol to like
Hmm.
chew her out again, that her kid is eating ice cream. And I was like, of
Yeah.
course Lakshmi's going to give her child ice cream to console him from crying all day or whatever. It's
Which is
like,
just
that's
so
silly.
silly.
I was like, I guess, listen.
Again, them just doing stuff to appease the unjoined, right? Because
Hmm.
he don't need no ice cream,
He's
but
fine.
you want your child to eat some ice cream. I am your child.
Sure.
I am your
I'll eat the
child.
ice cream,
I
Mom.
Yeah. But yeah, when she called, I immediately was like, "Oh, right." They did all cry because I know last week we were talking about we couldn't remember if
Oh, right.
Lakshmi mentions it again or not. I forgot about this scene. As soon as she answered, I was like,
Gosh.
"Oh, right. Yes, this
Yeah.
did happen."
She is upset. She is upset. And once again, it's Carol's fault and she won't stand for it. So the other thing that stood out to me in this cold open was when we got to the scene where Carol is on the rooftop,
Yeah.
I remembered thinking like, why does this look weird? I was like, I don't know if it's the transition or what's going on, but it looked very green screeny,
Yeah.
which I was like, I know that they aren't green screening sets because I know they're on location. Why does this look strange? And I was like, maybe it's just me. But the more I looked at it, I was like, the background looks so
No,
odd.
yeah, I knew exactly what you're talking about when I saw your note. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it did look weird. It looked like the color grading was off or something.
Yeah, and it looked very different to the rest of the show. Exactly. So
Yeah.
I was like, does anyone else notice this, or is there a reason why this scene looks weird? And so I looked it up and then found this whole Reddit thread where people were like, this looks ugly. So why does it look so ugly? And so I guess the consensus, because I think some people in there maybe are editors and, or at least know about editing. And I guess they were saying that what likely happened is it just had a lot of heavy compositing because they probably had to shoot the scene, obviously, during normal times. And if they want everything to look absent of people and cars, they're going to have to do a lot of layers of compositing. And they think that that just took away some of the values.
Interesting.
Because they were like, you know, there's not going to be a time of day during the day where you're going to get a clear shot of like an empty freeway. And they were like, there's probably people walking on the street or whatever. And if they wanted it to look desolate, they had to kind of do some heavy editing to get the scene to look that way. So I was like, all right, Reddit, once again, helping me out. Because I was just like, I was like, I thought maybe they had to do a reshoot or something like that and they couldn't go back on location. So then they had to do it on a green screen or whatever.
Interesting.
But yeah, I guess that's what was going on there.
Someone did mention in that Reddit thread that they mentioned that they talk about it in the official podcast too.
Probably should listen to that. Okay. Well,
That's
good
funny.
to know. Is that what they said in there? Is that what they said happened?
Yeah, they were listing off a bunch of different things, like the different.
I didn't go far enough down the thread. I see it
Yeah.
now. Oh, okay. For those of you who might want to know and don't want to look up this Reddit thread, here's what they said. The vantage point where I-25 and the I-40 meet are in a very complicated clover leaf. There were lots of vantage points that would kind of give you one direction, and it wasn't great. They also said the challenge of compositing Ray into the scene. I guess she was on a sound stage, so they had to like bring her into that scene, and that was a little odd. Building a rooftop for that big wide that ends on their back lot, and the difficulty doing a 270-degree pan is hard to keep smooth. I did notice that because especially when I watched it back again, that banding blurs as they pan a lot. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's true. It's not in motion control. Multiple units going at various places because they had to get them at the exact right time of day. Taillights that tell the story that the people are going away. The taillights that tells the story. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Because on every single free day, every single freeway they're showing, you're just seeing the red taillights going.
Got it. And the challenge in getting the compositing right, doing it at sunset so you can believe that you can see the lights of the taillights, but not enough light that we can see Carol and then erase the cars and replace them. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that all tracks. That all tracks.
AKA is a super complicated shot.
Filmmaking is hard,
They did
guys.
their best.
They did their best. Every shot can't be a winner. Sometimes you just got to concede and move on. Concede and move on. That's filmmaking for you.
Oh, that's funny.
There are flaws. And you know what? We love the flaws. And I'm going to get into that. Oh, actually, no. I wanted to talk about that right now, in fact. Is that what I wanted to talk about now? At some point, I wanted to discuss the AI of it all. And I don't remember if it was here or elsewhere. I don't see it elsewhere. I think, in general, just what I wanted to say is that I didn't write it in apparently, but I was thinking it. Is that like, you know, AI would have you believe that at a certain point you could have a show like this and have a shot like this and it be flawless and perfect, right?
Right.
You're going to get this flawless background, flawless, you know, human on, you know, atmosphere shot. You're not going to have the weird color grading. You're not going to have the compositing issues. It's going to be so perfect. And I got to say, there's something that I enjoy about seeing the seams and the imperfections in filmmaking that make it a very human experience in storytelling that I don't want to go away. Like, I don't want, what are you going to talk about when everything is just so flawless and perfect? You know?
I mean, and the other part of that too is AI learns from what already exists. So if it's something like these professionals struggled with this, guess what?
Mhm.
if you tried to have AI do this, it would still look off.
And be like, right, this? Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. It was, I was thinking about the moment where all the humans are leaving, or where all the joined are leaving the hospital.
Hmm.
And I was watching the scene and I was like, man, the industry wants it to be where you could take an AI model and
Yeah.
just dupe in bodies and they can all just be
Yep.
there and you don't have to hire extras. You don't have to hire
Hmm.
featured background. But I was like, but it would look so, I feel like even at its best, it would feel so soulless. And I don't know that
Yeah.
AI will be able to give you the variances. Like what I liked seeing in that scene is that you had that one guy with the beard and the, belly
Hmm.
and the kind of biker look. And you had this other dude that looked like he had the red specs. And I just was noticing all the details of the different actors and what they had them dressed in, the choices that they had them looking like. There's character to each of these people.
Hmm.
And those are the details, again, that I think only people can think of, right? Because
Yeah.
to me, it made me wonder about each of these people's stories prior to the joined assimilating them, right? Like, this
Yeah.
guy, look at this guy, look at these red specs that he's wearing with his blazer, and that's so different. And I wonder what his deal was. I wonder what he did before. And you got this guy over here and this lady over here, and have AI tell it and do it, you wouldn't get the amount of variance because it's going to try to do the easiest thing, right? And that's just like the human brain. It's going to try to like find the path of least
Hmm.
resistance. So you're going to get a lot of similar-ish looking people. You're not going to get as much diversity of look. And it's also like a lot of complicated programming. I feel like even at its best, it won't have that resonance of soul that comes from a
Hmm.
human being, right? So I don't know. I just had a
Yeah.
moment with this opening scene in particular. And I think even with some of the other scenes we're seeing with the joined, where I'm like, it would be so easy to just do an AI replication or even just CGI replication of just like,
Yeah.
here are people doing things in sync, but it won't look and feel
Yeah.
the same. And there's just something to, also, it would be pretty ironic to have a CGI or AI model in a show that's about like assimilation and
Yeah.
conformity, right? So
Luckily, one of Vince Gilligan is one of the people who has been very outspoken about being against generative AI,
I
and
appreciate that.
he calls it like professional plagiarism or something. What do he call it? Like a plagiarism machine or something.
Mm,
Which
fair,
I got it. I agree.
fair. Fair. In lesser hands, it could be easy to just be like, oh, we'll just see CGI some people in the background, in the way back. We don't
Hmm.
need to have actual bodies on set. It changes it. It just changes it. So anyway, I was very attentive to all these little choices with each of these little individual people. And anytime they have the joined doing synchronous stuff, I'm always noting
Yeah.
how everyone, because literally they just grabbed whatever body was there and that's part of the collective now. But you see the individuality in the fact that the remnant of the people's clothes, hairstyles,
Yeah.
tattoos, whatever, tells a story that we won't, at least as of yet, get to know, right? With
Yeah.
each of these people. So and that's creatively smart. Like that's a creative choice that Vince Gilligan has made that's very smart and gives more depth
Yeah.
to a series like this that could be very just blasé. So, okay,
Right.
I'm done. Off my soapbox.
Okay.
All right. Ready for the next part. Here we go. Moving right along, guys, into section 2, First Night Alone. We get another timestamp of our countdown clock, and it reads 8 days, 22 hours, 36 minutes, and 29 seconds and counting. Carol is driving home and works on a letter once she gets home in her office. She then gets dressed and made up and sets up a camera in front of her couch again. And we realize that it was not just a letter that she was writing, but a script. Carol makes a video addressing the 12 other survivors. She informs them that the others can't lie and that there is a way to undo all of this. And she also tells them that the others completely abandoned her, but negated to say why. And she pleads with them to work together to save humanity and says they can call on her at any time. Carol packages the video and calls the others on the hotline bling, and she has to listen to that recording yet again, and then she instructs them to make 12 copies of the video she just made and distribute them to the other uninfected people. She also asks them to subtitle it for the people who don't speak English. She tells the others that she will leave it on a rock outside to give them their space. And then she waits expectantly to see someone pick it up. But instead, they send a drone to do it for them. She seems a little disappointed too, but what are you going to do? She goes inside to have a TV dinner without a drink. Growing, maybe. And then for the first night since the joining, she decides to sleep in her own bed. Before she can fully fall asleep, she begins to hear noises outside. And when she checks on it, she sees a pack of coyotes are rummaging through her garbage. She grabs a golf club and manages to scare them off, but she then calls the others. This is the third time listening to the message all the way through. And she asks them to turn all the lights back on, all of them, everywhere. So demanding, this one. All right. So rolling back up to the top. So we are at the 8-day mark of all this going on.
Yeah.
So did the Zosha thing happen on day 8 or day 7 or day 6? I don't remember. Because it happened at night, right? The bombing happened at night.
The bomb was at night. And then
Zosha being in the hospital. I guess I don't know how long she was in the hospital.
2 days that happened. I think 2 days.
Okay.
I think the bombing happened right at night. Carol went to check on her the next day. They had their whole first thing. Then she went home and tested this truth serum. Came back the following day to do.
There we go.
Whatever. Yeah. And so I don't know if this picks up immediately after the last one. How much time has passed? I assume that was my assumption, is that this episode starts immediately after.
Right. I think so.
And then so then.
So a lot has happened in 2 days. Whew. A lot has happened in 8 days, to be real, but just trying to keep a mental record of when events are occurring in this timetable. Okay. So I love that Carol gets dressed up to make this presentation. It's so funny when she has these moments that she gets to be before everybody. Like, I don't know if it's the writer in her having to do publicity and that whole thing. Like, she very much takes seriously, like, presenting herself in the most professional manner when she needs to address the others.
Yeah, this was like, this is press. I know how to do press. I can do this. Right? She was about to go do a book signing.
Yep, exactly. She's like, oh, I've been prepped. I've had media training. I know how this goes.
Right.
Except when I drink. And then all bets are off. But yeah, so she's got herself put together. I almost forgot that she was going to make another videotape at this point. I remember the one that happens later.
Yeah.
But I forgot about this one. And I was like, oh, right. So completely forgot that she made one just to say, hey, guys, I know that they can't lie.
Right.
And I know, like, they may not know. I don't know. I guess we'll get into it. Yeah, the assumptions Carol's making about the others' knowledge or lack of knowledge. I appreciate that she does want to keep everyone informed and filled in, you know. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to it. I was laughing because as she's doing the video, she's talking a lot with her hands. And you just see that handcuff just jingle jangling all up and through. And I'm like, I'm surprised she didn't try to like push it up maybe so it isn't. Because if I'm watching this video, I'd be like, why she got a handcuff? Why
does she got a handcuff on? I mean, they're just like, this white lady crazy. What is wrong with her?
And the fact that she did all that to put on a blazer, put on makeup, and didn't even try to deal with the handcuff or keep that hand out of frame and just, you know, anyway, that was funny to me because that would have been my thought if I'm watching it. It's like, is that a bracelet? No, that is a handcuff. It's a cut off handcuff. Why does she have a cut off handcuff? What's going on? And then the other thing that stood out to me was that, okay, so if anyone is old school like us, and you've had to deal with machines and, you know, voice messages and things like that, typically there is a way to bypass the recording. Maybe not always.
Right. So you could just leave your message.
And I'm like, I'm surprised because Carol is of a certain age, right? I'm surprised she didn't try to start just pressing buttons to figure out how to skip this message because I'm not going to listen to this
so I
every time.
Star,
0,
time.
pound, 1. Those are the first 4. And then maybe you jump around to the others. But like, I would have been like, I'm not listening to this. Okay, how do I skip? Skip? There's usually a way to skip the message and get straight to the beep.
Right.
And the fact that she sat through it every time, I was like, that surprises me. As an elder millennial myself,
right?
I'd have been like, no, this ain't about to drive me crazy. Skip. Or maybe the first message is, hey, I need you to tell me how I can bypass this message when I call you in the future so I don't have to sit through this every time.
hey, record a shorter message. Thanks.
Or, hey, I get it. You don't need to have the recording. Just say, leave a message after
Right.
the beep. Boom.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's funny. I didn't think about that, but that's true.
I didn't think about it the first time, but this time through, after hearing or having to sit through it, especially the montage they kind of do, I was like, girl, skip to beep. There's a way. Every recording service, typically there's a way you can bypass the message.
Right.
I would have at least tried. Okay.
So the message, I was just like, oh, it's convenient how you left out the why. They all burst into tears because in her video, she's like, and then they're so, they're clearly so upset that I was on to them that they just suddenly burst into tears and they abandoned me. That's not what happened, Carol. That's not what happened.
Revisionist history. It's so funny. Revisionist history.
Like, Carol, Lakshmi already called you and yelled at you. If she knows that you are the reason why her son was crying, don't you think she already knows what you did? Come on, girl.
Because as soon as she saw him crying, she probably asked the other ones, why is he crying like this?
What's going on?
Whenever they finish crying, what's going on? Why are y'all crying?
Yeah.
And, Carol did something. Yeah, it definitely would have come out. So the fact that she tried to just omit that piece of information, I was like, girl, okay. I think, again, the assumptive nature of Carol, where the other unjoined are concerned and their relationships to their chaperones, I would take that into consideration. I mean, she may not have had to get into all of the, like, I'm so sorry, like I drugged one of the joined and tried to get him to tell me what to do.
Right.
And that caused a, reverberating effect. But she could have at least been like, I tried to coerce them into telling me what happened and whatever, or just apologize.
Yeah, it seemed like you would have at minimum said when I tried to push them for more information, this is what happened. And not the how of the push them. But she made it seem like they just spontaneously started crying. Girl, what?
I don't know what that was about. On that note, I also later on, when Carol's like, hey, I'm made this video, I need you guys to do ba ba ba, I'm going to leave it out here, I'm going to give you plenty of space, I'll be far, far away, because I know God knows you need your space. And all she did was stand at the top of her driveway. I was like,
she's right there.
I was like, you're right there. That's not far, far away at all. I would think you'd at least be inside the house looking out the window. I'd be like, lady, no, you need to be away from me. I was like, this is why they don't trust you. This is why, Carol, because you be saying stuff and then you don't really mean it. Yeah. Just do what you want anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was funny too. I was like, they know your game now. You aren't going to do what you say. You're going to do what you want to do. So they're like, we're not even going to bother sending a person. Absolutely not. You're going to get this drone. You're going to like it. Learn to live with it.
That's silly.
So I was like, oh, Lord, you can't even do this one little thing of just being in the house. Drop it on the street and go inside your door. Watch from the peephole. It's not that hard. Were you going to try to stop one of them? That's probably what she was going to do. Like, if it ended up being a person, she probably wanted to be able to, like, hey, I need you to da-da-da-da-da-da, because, again, I'm pushing my agenda, right? Carol. But that was pretty much all I noted at this point. We already mentioned the fact that she didn't drink, and I was also shocked by that aspect as well. I was like, hey, look at you. Progress. Do you think it's because she felt comfortable finally, or because no one was there? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know
why now all of a sudden we don't need the drink.
I don't know. I was just like, maybe she has a tummy ache. I don't know. I don't.
Not tonight. The stomach can't do 8 nights in a row, but we'll get back on track tomorrow.
I mean, spoiler, she does.
Yeah.
So. She just needed a little break. Everyone needs a little break.
Everyone needs a timeout. Yeah, I suppose. That's true. Anything else for you? I feel like you had another note.
The book on the nightstand. So when she goes to sleep, she goes to grab something off of Helen's side, and we get a glimpse of a stack of books, and the book on top that Helen was reading is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. So just, I don't know, a little Easter egg. I don't know if you can glean any meaning from that or not.
I mean, on the surface, the title in and of itself is pretty explanatory. And then there were none, right? It also, I'm trying to remember because I have read And Then There Were None. Great Agatha Christie.
I was gonna read the little synopsis.
Oh, please do.
The little not the log line. What's the next thing that's a
Byline.
little longer than? Yeah, there you go. So, 1939, Europe teeters on the brink of war. 10 strangers are invited to Soldier Island, an isolated rock near the Devon coast. Cut off from the mainland with their generous hosts, Mr. and Mrs. UN, Owen mysteriously absent, they are each accused of a terrible crime. When one of the parties dies, suddenly they realize they may be harboring a murder among their number. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's a very apt book.
Mhm.
Again, this kind of like murder in the midst type of thing. Also, the 10 strangers is kind of reminiscent again of
Mhm.
the 12 unjoined.
And you can't trust anyone.
Sure can't. Sure can't. You might think you have a friend among you, but it's everybody out for themselves and one by one picked off. Anyway, I was just going to say it's a great Agatha Christie novel. And if you're into murder mysteries, Agatha Christie novels are always a good time.
And Then There Were None been turned into a miniseries or a movie?
Part of me thinks maybe the BBC.
I don't know. I was trying to think if it's one that I've seen, but I'm not sure.
It says there was a 2015 TV miniseries, 3-episode television series. Is this one this feels very BBC-esque.
Okay. I have not seen this, but first broadcast on BBC One. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Anything else?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, then let's move on.
Okay, so now we're getting into some mystery substances. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so the next morning, she cleans up the mess from the coyotes. Sorry, let me stop because I was about to laugh. It's so funny how I noticed me do this.
You could have
without fixing the typo, but
you had to
fix it. Oh, okay, here we go. All right. Which that should say Carol anyway at the beginning of a section. Anyway, so the next morning, Carol cleans up the mess from the coyotes, then requests the trash be picked up. Surprisingly, she gets a call back, but it's just another recording. The others ask her to make sure that the trash is bagged and out of the bin and that the bags be no more than 17 pounds and placed at least 2 feet apart. So Carol goes outside, she takes the bag out of her bin, and is just like, seems right. Sets it down, waits for the drone. The drone comes, it struggles to pick up the trash at first, but then it eventually starts to fly off, only to get stuck on the street lamp, and then, which is Rodnesha's background today, and then the bag breaks, and all the trash falls out to the ground dramatically. It's hilarious. So Carol collects her trash and then she drives until she finds a public trash can that she can put it in. And so she puts her trash in and then she's trying to fit the serving dish in. And she opens the recycling bin up and then she sees that there are several milk cartons at the bottom. Curious, she then walks to another and she finds more milk cartons. So then she drives to a dumpster where she finds even more milk cartons. So she gets in, she jumps in or falls in or something and tries to get a milk carton. And she sees that the supplier is Duke City Dairy and she decides to head on over to that factory. So in the factory, it's clear that everything was shut down mid-productions when the others decided to flee the city. And so Carol snoops around and she sees a left behind drip of substance from one of the dispensers and she touches it and it isn't milk, but it is a viscous amber substance of sorts and she gives it a sniff and she can't quite put her finger on what it is. Then she hears a noise in another room and goes to investigate. She calls out to see if anyone is there and finds a room with crows pecking at the packages, and the packages have some kind of dusty, powdery, granular material. You know what's so funny? Later on, she says this white powder, and I realized that I was so tired I couldn't think of the word powder, as I described it here as a dusty, granular material.
Dusty, granular?
Like, Jesus, I'm powder, Callie, it's powder. Why? I'm so tired. Anyway, that just like, I'm not trying to be a wordsmith here at all. Not. Anyway, so she takes a big package of it home, and it's a big bag as big as like a cement bag or a dog food bag, and she pulls out a bunch of tests that she has gathered from somewhere. So there's one for drinking water, there's one for pools and other things. So we cut to Carol then making another video for the survivors to tell them what else she has now learned. So the milk cartons contain a liquid made by mixing water with the white powdery stuff that she found. It doesn't smell like anything. It has a bit of an oily texture, like olive oil. And the pH is 7.1, which is a neutral. If that means anything for anyone, she's not sure, but she says it. So the video ends with her having a little rant about how she's unsure whether the others will even see this video because no one has replied to the first one. Frustrated, she takes a beat to collect herself. And then she starts over to make a less frazzled video. Then that evening, the drone collects the tape and flies off. So she has sent off another video.
All right. So we've already mentioned it, but the drone scene just truly made me cackle. I think each time, and I knew it was coming this time, and it still really made me laugh. I think it's just, there's a comedy in the wide shot that they chose to give, right?
Yeah.
Where you pan out, you see Carol in one side of the frame just staring, and you see the drone struggle up and up and up, and then just swamp right into the light, and then just, like, it's such a cartoony thing. And so clever again to just get it all in that wide and just let the like comedy of that moment just kind of like play out. And then of course you get the drop at the end. I was like, that's fun filmmaking. And it's still funny. And I knew it was going to happen. And I really did laugh out loud when it did. And also, I think the noise of hearing it just like smack the light pole.
Right.
There's a few things about it. Because I think also in my head, it's like it felt like the drone thought it was clear and didn't take into account the string was going to catch. So it just goes for it. And then just like, nope. Uh-oh. Boom. So there's a kind of comedy of threes element to the way that it plays out even. Anyway, these are just smart filmmaking choices.
Right. I was surprised the first time I watched that she didn't call them back and say like, well, now you have to come clean this up because I'm not doing that.
True. I would have expected it. So I kind of was surprised that she just was like, I'll just take it somewhere and dump it. Maybe because she knew they'd probably send another drone and she was just like, I'm not going to sit here all day with drones.
Yeah, but like, how are they going to send another drone to sweep up all the mess?
I don't know. But that's the only thing
I would have been like, see, you can't keep avoiding me because ain't no way you're going to get a machine to do this.
That's true. That's true. But they did also say they would try to accommodate. So
yeah,
I guess they were like, you know, they could have easily said, we're so sorry, Carol, we have to maintain our distance. Would a drone suffice? If not, we can direct you to the nearest trash dumpster to, you know, Like, yeah, I don't know how insistent she'd have to get before they'd have to send somebody. That would have been an interesting thing to see play out. But I guess she just didn't feel like dealing with it. Now, here's what I thought to myself was, I'm surprised Carol doesn't know where just like a recycling center or a dumpster, like she went to what looked like a park or just kind of like a town center area and threw it into a public waste bin. And I'm like, I'm surprised she doesn't know where there's like a big dumpster or something like that she can just take her trash to, or like recycle center or trash center or whatever. Like I know where the Burbank recycle center is, but they also have like large dumpsters for the stuff that people bring that isn't recyclable, and I probably just started taking my trash there, honestly. I also am surprised, I guess it wasn't an issue when they had people, but I'm also surprised that Carol doesn't keep her trash in her garage, since it seems like she doesn't park her car in the garage. I don't know. I guess, again,
I mean, she has that side spot. Some places do that where they keep it on the outside.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that. I wonder if it's a deserty thing, because that's how my uncle's house is in Vegas.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Because I mean, yeah, I guess. And now that I think about it, my parents growing up, they did have a side spot for their trash out in the backyard.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I'm also just thinking of like present day, my dad keeps it in the garage now, and my sisters do with their houses. I don't know if it's just like, yeah, because you don't want critters or things to get into it, but
could be. HOA, do they have HOAs? Because that has something to do with it too. Because I know they tend to not want to let you keep it outside.
I was gonna say they do, but that's an HOA rule change, because again, we didn't have it. It wasn't an issue growing up for us, but maybe that's a new HOA rule where people have to keep their trash
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
internal. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly. And again, not that Carol could have known coyotes were going to come for her trash, but I guess, I don't know. I guess that's just something she had to find out in the moment, because part of me was like, why'd you keep your trash outside?
Yeah. I also am confused as to why. I get what's funny is the bin looked completely full, right?
Mm,
So at first I was like, why does she have so much trash? It's only been a week. And I was like, well, I guess we don't know when the last time the trash was taken out.
true.
Okay.
Because they were out of town. Yeah.
But I also feel like that's probably one of the things they would have just done was
That's
take out the
also
trash. I don't know.
true.
I thought about the trash too much but then also what made me, I was like, we don't know when the last time. And then I was going to drop it. And then they told her to take the trash out of the bin. And then we saw how little trash it was. So I was like, okay, the amount of trash that she took out of the bin makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't match what was in the bin in the previous shot.
That's true. Yeah.
Like that's a one person filled up a trash bag in a week bag that she pulled out. That's not right, but it was like a whole household bin full when the coyotes were going through it.
True. There's another thing later on in the next section that I also have an issue with in terms of I would have thought the adjoined would have addressed it type of thing. So these are the mind games I wonder about. Are they playing games? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was that. And so then when Carol goes to deal with the trash, right, and goes to throw it away, and she notices the cartons in the first smaller bin, and then she goes to check it in the dumpster, and then she climbs the dumpster to try to reach in. And all I could think was, you just left a trash can where you could have easily reached down and grabbed a milk carton. Why would you fling yourself into the dumpster? It made no sense.
Carol is a smart, dumb person.
You're right.
She makes dumb decisions.
You're right. Because it's like, at the minute, I could understand maybe your impulse inclination is, let me try to reach in and grab it because I'm right here. But the minute I start struggling, I'd be like, I don't need to do this. I'm just going to go back to the trash can over here and grab one. They're the same. But no.
Carol, why did you do that?
Why did you do that, Carol? And then she gets mad and she's just like, oh. I was like, girl, you put yourself here. You did this to yourself. So if they hadn't shown her just looking down at that, I would have thought, oh, maybe because this is the only dumpster around, I got to try to get one of these milk cartons. But she had just left a trash can that was literally at arm's length.
Right.
The choices Carol makes. Sometimes I do wonder. But you're right, smart, dumb person. Yeah, those were the things that caught me at this point.
Yeah. So when she makes the video, and I was like, I can't decide if this is because I know what happens in the next episode as far as when she finds out more, but I was unsure what makes Carol think that she is teaching the others something. Because she has already experienced being the last one to know something of the group because they are talking to the others, right? Like she very quickly in the first meeting learns that they have all asked what it feels like to join and they have asked these questions because, right, and you haven't asked any questions.
They're talking to them, yeah.
And so you're at a point now where you can't ask them questions because they have left you. But these people are living there. They're just going about their regular lives with the others. Why do you think that you are the first one to notice the milk? Why do you think that you are the first one to realize, oh, I don't think they can tell a lie, right? Like, it just seems very presumptive of Carol to think that she's like shedding a light on something. Like she has a hero complex or something. Like she really wants to be the one to like figure it out.
Save the day. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. I kept thinking when she would start doing these videos again, I was like, I think Carol just needs to have like a little mystery corner. I think part of this is I don't have people to talk to. I don't have family members. I don't have nobody. Maybe she just needs to set up a camera and be like, here's what I learned today. And it doesn't necessarily need to go anywhere. It's just for Carol.
Just make a vlog for yourself.
Exactly. And this is your video diary of surviving the joining. And maybe one day people will learn from it in posterity or something like that. But like, I think that's just something she needs
funny.
for herself.
That's funny.
Yeah. that's probably the route she should have taken. Like, I don't know if this will make it to anyone. I don't know if anyone will see it, but I'm going to do a video journal a day every day and record my findings, and hopefully, I don't know, someone will be able to do something with it. But yeah, like you said, it's not helping anybody else. It's not doing anything for anybody else, most likely.
Yeah.
Because they are asking questions and they are interrogating. And I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I'm sure some of that is Carol's lack of trust, but we've already seen instances where Carol reveals something and the other unjoined will be like, yeah, we know that.
Exactly.
So they are being trustworthy to some degree. And like you said, you just learned that they can't lie. So at this point, you might as well just ask questions, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
What a mess.
Silly Carol.
The other thing I noted during this little section was when she's describing in her second video about the milk cartons, and she's describing like, you know, we used to give children in elementary schools these milk boxes. Well, back when we had elementary schools and children.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, I was like, ooh, I know that bugged Lakshmi if she actually watches this video. Ooh, I know that part bugged her.
My child is still a child. He'll go to
still
school.
My child. This is my son. No, he's not. No, he's not, ma'am.
So now that makes me wonder, do you think maybe, I thought this when I saw your question too, and I was like, does Lakshmi's son still go to school? Like, is that part of what she wants in terms of a rhythm and routine? Or is Lakshmi the type of parent that's like, good, I'd rather have you home with me all day anyway. I don't want you to go to school ever again. Like, she seems like that kind of clingy parent that might prefer just having her son home with her 24/7. I don't know.
That would be insane if they were pantomiming school for Lakshmi. What? Because it wouldn't just be him going by himself.
That's true.
Like, if she really was like, you need to go to school and learn, and then she took him and there were no other children, she'd be like, where are the other children? They should be learning too. And then they would have to have all of their joined children in school with all of the teachers, all of the same teachers pretending. And then I guess they would just like be still when she leaves and not do it. Can you imagine? Right? Like it would be the whole drop off scene, and then she would drive off, and then they'd be like, okay.
Well, we just
and
wait till
go
she
do
comes
some
back.
other stuff until a pickup. Yeah.
That would be funny.
Like, as crazy as she thinks Carol is, like that is a different type of insanity if that's actually something.
Nothing's different. Everything's the same.
Right?
Nothing's changed. I wouldn't be surprised.
That is denial through the roof.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, because I guess, and this now just brings up a general point, because, and I'm skipping ahead, I can't get into the scene, but we do see a scene play out later with one of the other unjoined and their life at that point. And so it does make me wonder of the unjoins out there, and we don't really know because there's not a lot we see of them or we've seen of them so far other than the times they've been with Carol, what they are doing in their parts of the world, in their daily lives. And so I do wonder to what degree they are appeasing everybody. Like, are some people like, you know what, I'm glad my husband doesn't have to go to work now, so now I just want us to travel and go do things together all day and da-da-da-da. Or if some people preferred having that time, it kind of reminds me of like early lockdown days where when people started having to be home
and they're like,
all day and all night, it's like, actually, I need you to go away.
Right. Yeah.
So then is it like, I need that routine to keep up because I like my 8 hours of the day that we are apart. So I need my husband to go to work.
But again, too, it's like, it's not them, right?
Yeah.
So again, without getting ahead of ourselves, we don't know how much the others are asking them to pretend, right?
Right.
We don't know how much anyone has asked, like if Lakshmi has said, like, you know what my son is on the inside, you be him, right? And is he fully pretending, like he's eating that ice cream like he's pretending, so maybe on some level he's acting the way he normally would, quote. But there could be other situations where like if that's like you explain, where this is kind of annoying. You don't have to go to work. Like, I know you don't have to really work, but you got to leave me alone to do this thing because I'm used to being alone right now. And they would have pleased, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a million different ways to handle it, I guess.
And we, as of yet, have not seen how people are handling it outside of Carol. So I'm curious because, you know, could go either way, right? Some people could just embrace the new normal and just be like, all right, well, what do we do today? You know, or they need that routine because they don't want to accept that things have shifted dramatically or it'll break their brain. And so they're like, I kind of need life to go about the way it usually does. Yeah. So that even extends to kind of like with Carol, like, did they request for certain stores to stay open so they can do their grocery shopping? Did they
Right.
request for, we need the lights on in our town, or we need, the neighbors to still kind of be around. We like talking with them. We have Sunday dinners with them. Like, I'm curious
Yeah.
what's happening in other parts of the world.
Right.
So
Yeah. And I think at least the ones who have met Carol and Mr. Diabati, they can see kind of like the two opposites and ends of the spectrum, right? Where on the one hand, he's not trying to do the same, because he's just like,
I
oh,
hated it.
the world is my oyster. You will do whatever I want you to do. And he's taking full advantage, right? And then Carol on this end of like, I don't even want to partake, right?
Yeah.
And maybe they're all somewhere in between, where like trying to have some semblance of normalcy, but also where there's times that something can be a little more convenient, let's make it a little more convenient. I feel like that's probably where they have,
that makes sense.
I feel like that's the natural place to fall.
Yeah. Questions to ponder. But either way, Carol's not doing it right. She's not asking the right questions.
She's not doing it right.
She could have even left a message on that answering machine. Hey, what's this stuff? What is this powdery stuff? What is this oily stuff? Why are y'all drinking it all the time?
You know what I have? You know what? Right. Just ask. Like, they can't lie. You just said that in your first video. They can't lie. Just ask. You also know that there are some questions they try to avoid asking, but just ask it, because you don't know which ones are going to be those.
Exactly. Okay, that was pretty much it for me at this juncture.
Yeah.
Let's get into our last section. All right. So after Carol sends off the new tape, she starts to pour herself another drink. Thought she was going to do right, but no. But we see that she still has her end of the handcuff on her wrist from when she drugged Zosha and tried to tether herself to Zosha's wheelchair. So she hears a noise outside and realizes that the coyotes are back. This time, they are digging up Helen's grave. She tries to scare them off with a golf club again, but one of the pack snarls at her. They clearly came prepared this time to fight. So she runs to the police car and tries to free the shotgun, but she can't get it to release. So she does the next best thing. She takes the car, drives it around to behind her house, and crashes it into her backyard with the sirens and lights blaring. The coyotes take off, and she just remains over the gravesite until morning, when she wakes up and realizes that she is still in the police car, and she finally figures out how to unlock and remove the gun from the holster, as well as she sees the key to her handcuffs on the police keychain and gets those off her wrist. She goes to the hardware store and loads up the police car with stone tiles and brings them back to her home to cover Helen's grave. This endeavor takes her all day. She ends the day by painting the headstone and places it on the gravesite and has a nice little moment with it. She goes back inside to have another drink and knocks over the package with the white powder substance as she sits down. And when she goes to pick it up, she realizes that there's a barcode with no other numbers or words on the bag and decides, that's weird. So she wants to take it to the store to scan it and figure out what it's connected to. When she does the scan, it yields no answer. So Carol then goes to the dog food aisle and compares her bag to the one that's there. And it's clear the bag she has is dog food packaging without the label. She sees that the labeled dog food even has the same barcode on it. She then sees that it is also manufactured locally at Agrojet and decides to head over to that manufacturer plant. Inside the factory, she finds a giant walk-in freezer, and she walks through the aisles of shelving, all with huge plastic bags on each shelf. When she lifts one to see what's in it, she gasps in horror, and then the show cuts to black. And we don't know what she saw.
Yes, we do.
Well, we do. So the thing that actually, before I even get to that, coyotes come back. Obviously, we have this whole moment. She freaks out. She does the thing with the police car.
Yeah.
Which was smart, but also kind of crazy. But again, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
When she finally finds the handcuff key, I was like, Carol, you've had this police car this whole time. It's just funny to me how, I guess with fight or flight, there's certain things that just aren't clicking in terms of rational thinking, right? Because it's clear that she got the handcuffs from the police car. Where else would she have
Yep.
got them? So why wouldn't you immediately
Hmm.
think, okay, well, I can take these off? It's just the
Right.
fact that it was such a simple thing that was staring her right in the face, and it's like, I,
Really?
I'm over here walking around looking like an escaped convict, and and I could have had these off. Ben had these off. But this is the question that I had for you that I mentioned earlier. Because the first thing I thought when the coyotes come and start digging up the grave, I was like, oh, did they not put some kind of deterrent around the grave to keep animals from digging and da 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 da? And so then I was looking it up and I was like, are there things that like funeral homes or whatever do to their plots and cemeteries to prevent animals and creatures and things like that? And then before I even got to the answer of that, then I thought to myself, wait, or was it too shallow of a grave? And that's the problem. So then I get the answer and it's like, no, I mean, they might occasionally treat the grass to keep like gophers and things from digging holes, but generally they just dig very deep graves to ensure that the soil, removes any smells that would attract predators and scavengers and things like that. So then my thought was, didn't Zosha dig that grave with that excavator? Didn't she know, with all the knowledge in the world, how deep that grave would need to be?
Yeah, I mean, my thought when I saw it was like, I would imagine that you can't accidentally make it too shallow when you're digging it with an excavator in the first place.
Right.
So I just assumed that the issue had more to do with there not being any type of casket, or she was just covered in a blanket than the depth. I didn't think about the depth until I saw your note.
Yeah.
I was yeah, because like the type of box you're in or something, I imagine would affect the smell too. I don't know.
Possibly. I mean, that's another barrier to entry, right? But I think just generally they just make sure they're very deep.
Yeah.
So that no traces of scent get picked up. Because I guess they said usually by like the 6-foot level, an animal's not going to smell a dead body. So I was like, they didn't dig it deep enough. And I would have thought maybe it would have been an error if it were Carol that were digging it, because she wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But Zosha would know.
Yeah. But what reason would the others have to do that on purpose?
Mind games. Mind games.
But that early on, I feel like that early on, though, they didn't really know what they were up against with Carol. So why would they start the mind games early?
I don't know. I just don't trust them. But I just don't trust them.
Yeah.
And it could have been a slip, and maybe, I don't know. It's just one of those things that, again, when you have the collective mental consciousness of the entire world, I would think you would know better to just do it right the first time, right?
I almost feel like this is another one of those things where it was just a good
visual thing for
plot
filmmaking.
Device.
Possibly.
And I don't think they thought too hard about whether or not the coyotes would actually be. Because the other thing, I didn't make the note, but because I was like, let me confirm if I'm right. Because coyotes generally don't hunt in packs that large either.
Okay.
So that was another piece of it where I was like, that's not really right, but it's scarier to have.
How long? I was going to say, how many does it say?
Like one or pairs.
Interesting, because the only reason I say this is because when I was doing a show at a mortuary, or it wasn't a mortuary, it's a mausoleum out in Altadena. This was years ago, but it was a play, and they did this thing called Wicked Lit, and so they would have these different plays that people would rotate through to come see during like the month of October. They were always like creepy Halloween stuff. But the play that I was in was actually out in the grave, like out cemetery area. The other two were inside the mausoleum in different places. But I remember distinctly that when we were doing that show out there, we were all freaked out because we would hear large packs of coyotes running and yipping towards the end of the night all the livelong day, and it was the loudest thing. So I don't know if they're
super social together, but then they disperse and bring back typically.
Okay.
So if they're going after something large, they may group up in a larger group to hunt it down. Like if they're gonna like take down a whole deer or something.
Okay.
Right. But typically they're catching like rodent-sized animals, rabbits and stuff, and bringing them back.
Okay.
Yeah. That was one thing that made me, I was like, that's not right, but it's scarier for it to be
true.
Like 5
Do you
than
think
just 2.
That maybe the behaviors of how they hunt change because there's no people?
Maybe.
So it's like we can now be in larger packs because we don't have to worry about interference from people.
But I don't think the reason they hunt the way they do now is because of the people. Honestly, I'm actually surprised they don't hunt in packs because of people.
I mean, true. I don't know. I don't know how coyotes work. The other thing, well, actually, before we move on from the grave and the coyotes,
Oh yeah.
you had a note, I think, too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was just again, I was like, when Carol places the headstone that she's made, she looks like she's about to finally have her moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then she doesn't let herself have it. She like sniffles it up. She doesn't even let a tear drop fall. Like it bubbles up a little bit and then she's like, nope,
Mm-hmm.
not gonna
Mm-hmm.
do it. And I'm just like, Carol,
Yeah.
why you
Girl, you
gotta
need to
drink your
cry.
pile up?
You need a
Come
good cry. A
on.
good
You gotta let it
undrug-induced
out.
cry.
Right, right. And I just felt sad for her in that moment because I was like,
Yeah.
you like we talked about when she first buried her, she was not alone. Zosha
Mm-hmm.
was intruding.
Mm-hmm.
But now you truly are alone and you have the space to just be raw, and she's not
Mm-hmm.
letting herself do it.
Yeah. I think the moment got me when she first realizes the coyotes are doing what they're doing and you can see the
Hmm.
terror in her
Yeah.
eyes. And I was just like, oh no, Carol. Oh no. I get it. Like, this is all I have left of the world
Yeah.
and anything that mattered to me. And if these coyotes get to it,
Hmm.
that's it, right? So that part got me. And then I thought for a second that they weren't going to show her headstone at all and that it was just going to be this nice little thing that only
Hmm.
Carol knows what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then they ended up showing it. They showed it from a distance, so we didn't get like a
Yeah.
clear view of it. But there was just something I kind of liked about the cinematography there where they show her place it, they show her looking at it, they show her reflecting and honoring and having her sad moment, and then they kind of cut away and you see her walk away from it. And I was like, oh, they're not going to show it. That's nice. Because I like that it's just this private
Hmm.
thing that she has. And then they showed it, and I was like, well, okay. I mean,
Oh.
okay, that's fine too, I guess. Because it did make me. I had a voyeuristic moment where I was like, what did she put on it? I
Oh,
want to
what
see
did she
it.
put on it?
And I
Yeah.
thought that they were going to kind of leave it there so people can, again, get that read of like, this is just her thing.
Yeah.
She needs one thing that's just hers, right?
Yeah.
But, also show it. That's fine.
Also show it,
Also
whatever.
show it, sure. I guess maybe the fact that they didn't do like an up close thing. So there is still a little bit of mystery
Yeah.
to it. That works too. But still a nice moment, a sad moment. Like you said, it does kind of suck that even then she's not letting herself really, really let it out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if some of that is conscious or unconscious. I don't know if some of it is like, if I let myself cry, I'm not going to be able to get myself back together. I don't know if some of it is like, I need to not cry because I need to stay angry enough to want to do something about this. Like, I'm
Mm.
curious what the mentality is behind why she didn't allow herself to really just like go into like a deep
Yeah.
grieving moment when she could have. Like you said, this is the one time where she is really alone. And if she was worried about doing it while Zosha or somebody else was there and didn't want them to see that vulnerability, that makes sense. But now it's just you. So,
Yeah.
let
I don't know.
me see. Was there anything else?
Dog food.
Oh, yeah.
We both have a note about the bag at the store.
Okay. Wait, what was your note? I'm curious about your note.
Well, I was a little annoyed that she found the right bag so
On the first
easily.
try? Yeah. Okay, that
So
makes sense.
I understand that, at the top of the dog food where it's closed with the thread, there was a little remnant of the blue, right? So
Mm,
you could guess that there's blue, it's a blue
somewhere on the
cover
bag.
on.
Yeah.
If your hunch is correct that it is dog food bag, then you grab a blue bag. But I just would have liked for her to like pull
Struggle a
one
little
down and
more.
like search for it and then nope and then pull another one down. At least just one.
True.
And I thought I was like, it's not like we're pressed for time here on this one, especially because the scene where she's covering Helen's grave with the stones didn't need to be that long for us to see that it took her all day. Like there
Yeah.
were several like cut forward and it's a little darker, cut forward and it's a little darker, cut forward and it's a little dark. You didn't need like 4 or 5 to
Yeah.
show that.
Yeah.
That time was there for her to not just be lucky and it
It's
matches
the
the
very
very
first
first
bag.
bag that you
Yeah.
found.
True. She could have struggled a little more. Yeah. Yeah. And especially since she's in a Sprouts and not like just some in town, market that maybe everything's local or something. Yeah. Could have been anything. Oh, well. And then for me, my question for you was the input error that she got. Because clearly she did find the source of the bag, but why was there an input error when she tried to scan it? Do you
Because
think
that's not
that,
the. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, do you think that they purposely put or like erased the barcode information from the system? Because like,
I don't think so because that wasn't the like CPU barcode on the label of the package.
what barcode was that? Was that just like a tracking
Remember, it was
barcode?
like something. It was something. It must have been because it was just or like an internal numbering or packaging number,
Okay,
something like that. Because it was on the fold of the inside, right?
true, and that's
Not.
not where
It's
you
not
would.
that like white and black
Okay,
barcode that's on the
that makes
end.
sense. That's
Yeah,
true. That's true.
yeah.
I forget so many ways they use barcode
Yeah,
tagging.
I even remember thinking, I think the first time being like, well, that's not going to do anything, Carol. That's not even the right barcode. Like, that's not a regular
That's
barcode.
not a store
That's what I
barcode.
thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would make sense for like, yeah, shipping or tracking or something. Okay. Never mind then. No sabotage this time.
You were like,
This
did the
time.
joint do that
I was
on
like,
purpose?
conspiracy, conspiracy. They don't want her to know. They don't want her to know the truth.
Because if that's the case, they should be making an effort as they're packaging their stuff to not
Well,
use
no,
bags that already exist, but to just
true.
remove the barcode altogether.
But here now, this is another interesting factor that I was thinking to myself, and we'll get maybe a little more into it next week when we get into the what of it all. But like,
Hmm.
clearly, to some degree, they don't want it to be obvious what they are drinking, right?
Right.
They're putting them in milk cartons,
Yeah.
which are the most opaque conveyance of drink that you can have. So I guess I just was thinking to myself, like, why just milk? Why not use like beer cans, or why not use like
Everything.
anything?
Yeah.
Like the fact that they contain it to just being milk cartons is interesting to me, because
I
I'm like, you have
think
all these
maybe
bottling
that
plants at your
it
disposal.
well, I was gonna say I was thinking it's probably just the convenience of what it is, what's in the town.
Mm.
That's probably just what is there, is that dairy
So you think it might be
packaging
different in
facility.
other places?
Yeah, and I think what Carol pointed out, she even said that when she's showing them the milk in her video, she's saying it might not be a milk
Oh,
carton where you're from. It might be some other kind of
okay. I
bottle
missed
or
that part. You're right. She
container.
did say that.
And I was like, oh, that's actually really smart, Carol. It's probably just whatever is local.
Local. Okay. Okay. I'll give you that. Because I was thinking, I was like, why milk?
Yeah.
Why milk? Why not anything? Anything you can put in a bottle. Like I guess I was thinking like they probably aren't going to do something clear, because then people are going to be
Yeah.
like, why this doesn't look like
What is
Coke?
this?
This isn't a normal
Right.
Sprite. Why is it
Yeah.
in this bottle? Yeah. But yeah, I guess it could be any opaque can or bottle.
Hmm.
And then the other thought I
Right.
had, I was like, maybe they aren't using like beer bottles, because then it would look like everybody's an alcoholic in town.
That's
And again, it
funny.
would invite more questions.
Right.
Milk is just an easy general thing that anybody can drink, I suppose, if you're trying to keep up appearances.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Because if we're saying if you are gonna think like, oh my gosh, the virus must make them need a lot of calcium or something. You know what I mean? It would make sense for it to be milk and not something else,
Yeah.
right? It would it would be weird if you're like if they told you like actually we need a lot of wheat and barley, you know.
It's
We
part of
just
our new
need that.
diet. We need those hoppy amber ales.
Right. Oh man, that's funny.
Oh, okay. We're definitely going to have more questions. I already have them now, but I can't ask them about the substance. But we'll talk more as we go further down the pike
Yeah.
and more information gets revealed about what's going on with that. But I do remember watching this the first time through and getting to this final scene with Carol and the shock face. Did you have a
Yeah.
guess at that point? I did.
You know what? I'm really trying to remember. I know I didn't. I know it. What I didn't. If I did have a guess, it wasn't correct.
Okay.
But I also was like, what could it have been that her shock wasn't immediate? Like it took her quite a bit for it to actually register what it was before she was like, right? Because she lifts
Mm-hmm.
it up and she looks and she takes a step back and
Mm-hmm.
looks and
Mm-hmm.
then she
And then it all comes together. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I can't remember if I had a guess of what it was.
I did have a guess, but I don't want to say because it'll give it away if you haven't watched the episode. Because I think my guess, it wasn't exactly correct, but it was pretty close
Mhm.
to correct. It was just what came to my brain. And I'll say it next week.
Yeah.
But that's what came to my brain immediately. But then I think I did go through some, but what if it's not that? What else could it be?
Mm-hmm.
Guesses just to kind of think it through, like, oh, could it be this? Could it be that? And then I had to wait a whole week, but then I got my answer. So we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it next time. Yeah, that's pretty much the episode.
Well,
man, I know I've said this each time, but I'm going to say it again. I pick up so much information through these rewatches.
Rewatches, yeah.
that I didn't catch. And just all these little subtleties that are woven into the filmmaking of this that I think I didn't have my eye on or my finger on the pulse of them the first time through, but they were clearly informing even without my conscious brain taking it all in.
Yeah.
So to get to kind of parse them out, it's like, that's why it shouldn't feel like there's a lot going on with these episodes, because they are so pared down in terms of it's one character you're mostly following. The storyline isn't changing too dramatically. And by all accounts, that should equal boring or something like that. But there are things going on constantly, if you are paying attention, that are informing and leading you, breadcrumbs that are leading you down the trail to Grandma's house or the witch's cottage, or I don't know. I'm trying to make a Hansel and Gretel reference. Whether it worked, to be seen. But we're not here to make references and metaphors. We're here to tell you how you can continue to connect with us. So we're wrapping up this episode, but that doesn't mean the conversation has to end. You guys can continue to reach out to us and connect with us through social media, like we do with everything. You can find us too over on Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, Lemonade, or YouTube at the UUR Pod. That is our handle. That's where you can connect. Throw us some theories, throw us some questions, throw us some comments, throw us some compliments. We love compliments. You can also do that through email. You can email us at the uurpod@gmail.com. If you have something you want us to take a look at, maybe there's a piece of media or an interview or something you think might be interesting for us to digest and make a part of the next episode, send it our way. We'd love to look at it. Don't send us weird stuff. Don't be weird. Just had to put that out there. You never know. And if you feel so inclined, you can also join us over at patreon.com/theuurpod. That is where you can become a severed floor tier member of our podcast and help support us in what we're doing, and also get access to bonus information, extended episodes, our video episodes. All of that is living over there behind the paywall. I would say unfortunately, but not unfortunately, because we do a lot of work to get these things to you guys, and we want you guys to enjoy them, but everything can't be free. And I say that as someone who's always looking for a deal, but everything can't be free. But yeah, so you can join us over there and get access to that information. We are currently talking about The Pit over on our bonus pods.
We in the Pit.
That's right. We in the Pit is what we have decided is going to be the name of this. So, and as we just talked about today, we might also be talking about more deep dive things with Pluribus. So catch us over there, enjoy the extended conversations, and then this will always be here if you can't. But if you can, please do. If you can't, you get this. I hope you like it. We do our best. Otherwise, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you are listening to this podcast. And that will help increase our viewership in the algorithms, because we know that everything is driven by Mr. Algorithm, and we want more people to be able to find. Sorry, your face.
Mr. Algorithm.
We want more people to find us. Silly as it may seem, we'd like more people to hear what we have to say and be a part of our community. All right, I'm out.
All right. This has been the UUR. And remember, at the tone, you can leave a message to request anything you might need. We'll do our best to provide it. Our feelings for you haven't changed, but after everything that's happened, we just need a little space.